Hi folks, well this is the next part of the problem solving videos. In the first one, I think it was part 23, I sorted out the crankshaft, which had got a bit of a misalignment, or a wear issue rather. So you can see sort of ovaled and out of shape where the crank pin went is, and I bored a nice new hole which is a perfect fit. Really pleased with that. Anyway, so the next is to sort out the oil seal, because all the gearbox oil was getting sucked through into the crankcase, which ain't a lot of good. This brass ring is acting as the oil seal. So what I've done, I've replaced the bearings to stop it floating about. I've had to shorten this distance piece very slightly, and then I've just faced the brass oil seal so that it's perfectly flat, and got my final clearance that way. So it's, you can just feel it's very slightly tight. Free to turn, but you can feel a little resistance there, so I know the seal's doing its job and it's not all floating about. So as you can see, I've made some new gaskets, so done one for the other side. So I'm just going to put some sealant on those, let it go a bit tacky, and then refit it. Also got some head gasket material, so I'm going to make a new head gasket and hopefully put the engine back together. Don't know about a test run, but we'll see how it goes. Right, well, fitting the piston and connecting rod in one of these is a little bit fiddly, but what you have to do is place the crank just below the half stroke position, or the crank pin rather, and the piston and connecting rod have to be twisted clockwise like that. So you've got a slot in the top of the piston to help you, and the crank pin will then slip into the connecting rod big end eye, and you can twist it back round and then build up the roller bearing, which is also equally fiddly. Anyway, once I've done that, I can fit the pump gearbox on the back and seal up the gasket. Just use a bit of well seal just to help it along, excuse me. So we're getting there. Just again put back together. It turns nice and free still. Getting the piston rings in was a little bit of a challenge. I had some help last time I did it, but this time I had to get a Jubilee clip and just put a little plastic spacer inside so as not to damage the piston or rings in any way, and that made the job a lot easier. So I'm going to just put the gasket on the gearbox and pump assembly and have a go at fitting that now. Right, well, just to finish off, that's the engine back in one piece. the pump and gearbox assembly fitted up okay, and it's maintained the oil level all day. I can't drain anything out of the crankcase. What was happening before, I could remove that plug and the oil in there would just come rushing out because it would have worked right through. There's now no play between the halves of the crank, so as you saw in the last video, we've sorted that problem. You can't move this back and forwards, so there's no movement between the oil seal and the casting, just the right amount of clearance. So everything turns free once you have compression. By the way, the clanking noise is just the starter assembly, which I don't know if you can see, but the weights kick out once it's up to speed. The other thing you might notice, I've turned the exhaust up the other way, back to how it should be for an N3. Obviously for my purposes it makes more sense to have it pointing down, so I may go back to that, but this is just for further test runs. I'll put a link for long pipe on there and that will stop it messing up the trolley. Of course, on a marine engine you had to have a sort of S-bend to stop seawater going back up the exhaust, because the exhaust went out to sea along with the coolant. Pumping fresh water, or river water it would have been. This would not have been a sea-going engine, but it would have been pumped in there. Only problem that has arisen so far is with the new clinker seal head gasket I've fitted, which in itself is great, and we use that on the steam boilers and such like at work, steam manifolds. But it's quite a dense material, it hasn't crushed down as much as the older one. So that's good, that should solve the problem with that. There was a bit of water just seeping between the jacket and cylinder. Hadn't quite made it to the cylinder yet, but you could see it was travelling, looking at the marks on the gasket. Anyway, you'll notice there are these spacers in there, which were to give just enough tension on the chain that it doesn't jump off. So I'm going to replace the chain, because even with this bracket on the cylinder head, take a link out and it's too tight. So a new chain with a quarter link, or half link rather, that should do the job by my reckoning. I of course spec the cylinder head studs, which are stainless steel. I spec them to have this bracket hard down on the cylinder head, so there's not enough threads really for tightening these nuts. So I can't tighten them as much as I'd like to with this new gasket. So I need to replace the chain, then I can tighten the head down properly. I can dispense with those spacers. So that's about it really. We're back to where we were. Oh, one other thing, I've put some M8 stainless studs in the magneto rather than using bolts to secure it. So there's a couple of nylock nuts and a 3mm mild steel spreader plate underneath, which just stops them sinking into the timber. So you get a nice firm mounting with the mag now. But that's it really, we are back to where we were before, hopefully minus the problems that it had, and hopefully minus the oil consumption. So only other news really is that I've got what may be a slightly better starting handle. It's a lot lighter, it looks more the part rather than an old hardtop handle. So I just need to extend it and make a drive dog. So I'll probably use a bit of pipe for that. Member of the Station Engine Forum has very kindly sent me this as well, which is an old Jap 2A petrol tank. I put out a plea for one of those because I know they're roughly the right size. As it turns out, it's only about 10mm longer than the cooling tank, so I'm going to mount it to that somehow. You notice it has a few dents, so whilst I'm not ever expecting it to get it perfect, nor would I want to, it's an old engine after all, but I shall probably weld a bit of steel wire to that and use a slide hammer just to try and pull the dents out. I've had some success with that in the past. And I also need to find a petrol cap for it or make one, but it shouldn't be too hard. Painted the inside of the cooling tank, and I've also drilled out these bits for securing screws for the cooling screens. Just little brass M4 screws going in there. But that really is it. So hopefully the next video of this will be a test run, and we'll be able to do a longer test run with coolant that's the plan anyway. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll update you again soon.